apples, oranges, and a mystery. What do these things mean in the language of flowers? Why are they important in the latest ASMR story episode titled Heart of the Home? Welcome to Frames of Fire. My name is Mel, and together let's dive into the deeper meaning of the artifacts, the inspirations, and the research that helped shape this latest video. To learn more about the history-inspired video series, go to the official Ko-fi page. Join a membership today and unlock more of the secrets waiting to be found. Welcome to the complimentary talkback episode to the latest ASMR video titled Heart of the Home. I love how soft this opening is. We can see a series of props already, including a pince nez monocle made by attic graders. In this video, in this introduction portion, there's lots of antiques scattered throughout the set. Brass candlestick holders that hang on the wall, a glimpse through a window, and we see this roaring fire rich with reds and oranges alight in the background behind a character cast in a cool color. The color choices were very intentional. I wanted a lot of drastic contrasting to enhance the warm, cozy feeling of the fireplace, but also to highlight the character. When Lord Ike does show up in front of the camera, quite often this character is lit in a very cool color. We light the candles. It is a fact that to create this video took a dozen candlesticks to create that soft, warm lighting that you see throughout this video. 12 candlesticks in one day. Some of the shots were taken separately outside of the main recording day. It took a week and a half to build the costume, approximately. It took weeks of research to find the right kind of photo album. The photo album we are looking at is an antique, dated to have been made and sold sometime around the turn of the 20th century. It's perched on top of what looks to be a wooden box, and a drawer is pulled out. The candles we glimpse in the drawer are handmade. I made them. A black ribbon is pulled from the drawer, and it's draped pleasingly on the corner of the album. This symbolizes an individual who is in mourning. Draping the crepe, draping the black fabric on frames, doorknobs. This was common practice at the time where this video is approximately filmed. It was symbolic to lay the black ribbon on the corner of the family album for this character. This character is grieving. And this is why the decorations are muted. For a rich character with some means, it means that this character has the opportunity to invest in many things. But the set, as we will see, is actually fairly tame. It's as if the whole house is grieving with him. I love this decoration. This is an angel chime, and it does go back to around the turn of the 20th century. The earliest patent I could find was listed in 1905. There are some excellent blogs that talk about angel chimes, and I encourage you to look them up to learn more. An angel chime is a Christmas ornament that was also sold with additional little dancing figurines. You can see in this video I have a couple of prancing horses, and on the top is a little cherub announcing with a little horn on the top. This is the decoration that makes that soft little bell chime sound you hear in the background. It's a very pleasant sound, and bells have always reminded me of the Christmas holiday. I wanted to include a unique bell sound, and the angel chime provided that throughout the video. It spins thanks to the heat that is rising up from the candles below, turning the little turbine fan at the top. Each of the little horses has a post that hangs from it, so as the horses spin, the little posts hit the bells that are on either side, creating that chime effect. I found this to be very soothing to watch, so I wanted to include it and give it a lot of space in the video for your entertainment. Do you have an angel chime? Let me know in the comments section. I'd love to find out. We also have here in the video a long glimpse at something sparkling in the background. Is it a vase? If it's a vase, what is it holding? If you are a membership holder, it means you've downloaded the PDF Language of the Flowers, Sentiments of the Flowers. And in that PDF is the answer to the first of the hidden meanings woven throughout this video. Fun fact, that fireplace shot we just saw, the stonework, that stonework is made out of cardboard and flooring foam and some stickers. I kid you not, it took about 3 days to build the stone facing around the fireplace and make it look like old sculpted stone, soft stone. Just cardboard pulled out of my recycling bin, some stickers, and some flooring foam to give each of the stones depth. It's part of the set I would like to invest in the future to improve upon it. If people really like the Crimble episode, I look forward to making more content in this theme. We perched a couple of photographs. All the photographs that you see in this video are antiques. Many of them actually came with the red photo album that you see. The spruce pine. Again, check that PDF. We want to know the language of the flowers. What does spruce pine mean in the language of flowers? What does it symbolize? It's one of the first pieces I knew I wanted to include in this set. It feels so iconic to the holiday, especially in this time period, to have spruce pine draping across the mantle or hanging artistically above the picture frames. The red stockings are a knitted piece that had fur trim added to them. They're stuffed with some tissue paper, some very short handmade candy canes, a deck of cards. These are nods to things that would have been found in an antique stocking, according to the research that I had done to enhance the feeling of these stockings. There is much information online about the history of stockings, and I encourage you to look it up for something interesting. I made those candy canes. It was a very interesting recipe to try. I don't think I'll make them again, though. If I need to film with candy canes in the future, I'll go and look to purchase some. I wanted to try, and I learned a lot. I do not like making candy. This character is grieving, so there are lots of generous shots of this character reaching towards that photo album, looking at the photos, holding them, admiring them. The shot with the two older couple, it's implied that that is his parents. Both of them have passed. What you also see in many of the shots is on this character's hand is a ring, a purple and gold ring. And if you are a membership holder, you will have gained access to another PDF, Colors and Harmony. There is another PDF, which, if you are a member, you will also be able to download to unlock more meaning that is important to understanding this character, the meaning of the stone or precious stones. You can download that PDF to understand what an amethyst stone would symbolize. Each of the book PDFs that I'm referencing come from one of two specific books I have in my possession. The first one is a book called Our Deportment, and this book is I think one of the youngest etiquette books or deportment books that I have in my library, printed in 1882. It's this book that you hear many of the pages flipping, the pages being squeezed. It's this book that I'm holding as I record each of the individual sounds, one at a time. A beautiful scanning shot as we come down from the photo album. Oh, and what's this? A basket of fruit and oranges. Oranges and apples also have meaning in the language of flowers. Please see that PDF to learn more. Oranges, apples, spruce pine, and the plant that we saw in a crystal vase. Oh, the matches. So many sounds were made just with this matchbox. The strike of a match. There's something very handsome about that sound. Ooh. I love it. We get an interesting close-up of this character's costume as well. We see a black ribbon hanging around his neck, and a piece of jewelry with what looks to be a circular pendant on the end. That piece is a piece of eyewear called a lorgnette, a collapsing lorgnette that springs open. The work that went into planning this costume was also another long stretch of weeks researching to understand the cut, the lay, the shape, the material, making sure it was as close as possible within my means to bring this character to life and represent something that is so important to the Ike family. Familia est omnia. Family is everything. An unofficial motto of the private home. We see books tucked into the corners of the couch, another artistic shot of the yellow and silver monocle laid on an open book. The camera brings us back to the basket, the woven basket of apples and oranges with a piece of spruce pine tucked in the top. Some of the bowls are filled with nuts close to the fire, seemingly within arm's reach of the chair close by. Fun fact about the fire sounds, the sound that you hear, that crackling, snapping, hissing sound, took multiple recordings, about 3 days of raw audio recording, and then it was layered in the video editing program. That fire sound isn't just a recording, it's 15 recordings, 15 different recordings, stacked up on top of one another to create one singular fire sound. It also represents one of the most unusual sources of the sounds that I have used to date. That snap, high-pitched crackling sound. The firewood that I had chosen to record for this scene didn't make that sound. I had to look to other sources to create it, and inspiration came when I picked up this. A wicker basket. Oh, I love that antique cup. This antique cup is a real treasure. I've never seen another like it. Cobalt blue and gilded edging. There's a lovely Roman-styled motif around the inside of top by the lip. And many cups of tea were consumed to get this sequence of hand shots correct. I think I drank about 2 pots of tea before I was happy. It's a lot of tea. Fingerprint cookies are also a easy cookie for the time period. Thumbprint cookies or shortbread cookies are a classic cookie treat with a little space for some jam to be added. I did not make the cookies. I did buy them, but they were very good. I went through about a dozen cookies to get the right chewing sound. It's a soft sound you hear in the background. The drinking, the sipping, the tea clinking. There was much of this with this microphone. They all make different sounds depending on where you tap and how full your cup is. It took a lot of experimentation to get the right sound. The first long shot of the fireplace. This is a cozy time. I hope you've gone and fetched yourself a good cup of tea or cocoa. I hope that you also have a favorite cookie and you're curled up somewhere comfortable as you are watching this video. The fireplace is made up of 15 individual sounds, and I could have added more, but the one that really stood out was the basket. Can you hear it? Lots and lots and lots of that sound makes up that iconic crackling fireplace sound that you hear in the hearth. The hearth is a place where family naturally gathers. And this fireplace is what inspired the title for this Christmas episode, Heart of the Home. The hearth is the heart of the home, and where the heart of the home is, so too is family. The furniture that you see, the snapshot of the corner of a chair just to the right of the video, the furniture is not antique, but it is antique styled. And it is a very plush piece of furniture. The pillow, upon reflection, I could have changed the pillow, but it's not a significant detail that's part of the set. It's just texture. There's a funny story with the fireplace. I was out collecting the spruce pine branches, and in a video call I had remarked, I would really love a grate, something to enhance the feel of my fireplace so it looks and feels a bit more, something closer to that old world aesthetic that we see so predominantly. And it was like a gift from the Fae. I turned to the side, I looked down, and there, laying in the grass, was this iron grate. I don't know where it came from. I'm uncertain if It was picked up from a construction site and brought over, but fate decided that my wish would be granted in that moment, and lo and behold, an iron grate was picked up along with the spruce pine branches, and that is what we see perched in the fireplace in this video. It is definitely an iron grate, one of, I think, perhaps 2 pieces, or something that would have been installed low to the floor in order to block off an air vent. We get a really nice close-up shot of the grate later in the episode. I wanted to celebrate the design of the iron grate. There's a couple of shots that really lean into the pattern, the aesthetic. It's also very heavy. Solid iron is quite heavy. Hours of filming, weeks of research, more weeks of costume building. I took the time to lay out the pacing of the video. I knew I wanted the focus to be the fire, and because I knew that, I knew what I needed to build and film to accompany the focus shots. The focus shots is a term I use to explain which of the shots are the key pieces, focus shots, the focus of the video. Then there are other complementing video pieces that help tell the story of why this space is so important, why it's so cozy. Part of the research that I did to bring this video to life was looking into Victorian traditions of the Crimple holiday. Many blogs reference things like nuts and oranges, stockings, and a tree, but not a lot of blogs offer citations to back up their claims in the blog. It was one of the things that I really wanted to take my time to ensure that if I did put something in this video, I had a reference to refer to, something to prove that in a printed document, yes, somebody had said, this is fact. It's why the video has bowls of nuts and oranges and apples. These are things that were printed in a couple of precious resources, and they helped shape the feel of the video. Oranges and apples is a very festive fruit. They're also very fitting as well, for this story world takes place in a tropical environment, and that was very intentional when I started creating this story world. So much of our Victorian era stories, whether they're history inspired or telling of a true story, it takes place in London. It takes place in the United Kingdom, where it is rainy and grey. I wanted to tell a story from this time period that didn't take place in a rainy place, that wasn't totally grey, that actually had color and sunshine. And so the story takes place in a tropical port city for that reason. It means there's easy access to fruit, and that is why oranges and apples was a very easy food to include in this video. Not to mention what it represents in the language of flowers. The tossing of the needles. If you've looked up the PDF, you already know the answer. But this is a symbolic moment for this character. Spruce pine, according to our deportment, printed in 1882, it means farewell. This character is saying goodbye. Some of the soft sounds that were included are things like wrapping of the gifts. We see a glimpse of a long present with a big red bow on the top. We also hear the sound of a quill on paper. Pages shuffling, more page squeezing, flipping. This is a homey atmosphere designed to encourage someone to relax, to enjoy the feel of this space. Fun fact, the grandmother clock that you hear ticking in the background, that was an original recording from a clock that I own. It's a short piece. It looks like a grandfather clock, but it's much shorter. It's why it's called a grandmother clock instead. But that very healthy tick-tock is an original recording, one of 132 sounds recorded for this video. Some of the nuts that were in those bowls were walnuts and hazelnuts, two traditional foods that were also served around the Crimble holiday. Crimble is an old word for Christmas, and it's one that I found particularly romantic, so it's included in the chapters of the book. If you're curious to know more about the book, sign up to become a member today and enjoy the ARC, the advanced reader copies of the chapters. Tossing of the hazelnuts. That was an interesting quirk that it, according to a blog, is meant to reveal your true love. If the hazelnut bloomed, it didn't burn or burst. If it bloomed in the fire, it would supposedly, according to the lore, reveal your true love's face. I was unable to acquire a citation for this, so unfortunately it's not something I can say for sure if it's true, but it provided an interesting detail in the film, so I chose to include it. The nut bowl holders, the two tall glass pillars, those are candlestick holders. I am uncertain as to what they are called, but the pieces were such a lovely complement to the set that I decided to include them. They're handsome and unintrusive, allowing the rest of the set, particularly the fire, to really shine bright. Those cookies were delicious. That is a strawberry thumbprint cookie. They were very good. Much of the sounds and the video was recording using some accessible equipment. The equipment that I had used is listed in the description box of this video. Things like this microphone and this headset. One of the videos I look forward to debuting is Letters to Lover, and in this Crimble episode, we hear the scratch of a quill and paper shuffling. It's a soft lead to the next video I hope to debut with this character for Valentine's Day, February of 2025. Letters to Lover. A long ASMR episode where this character is writing a love letter to his secret lover. Part of the content that members can unlock is also the audio recording of the letters. If you enjoy my voice, become a member today and unlock more of the rich baritone that you hear pouring into your ears with the audio recording of the letters. Roughly halfway through the video, it's a subtle change, but gradually the video shots become darker. This indicates the passing of time, and it's a very subtle effect that I really enjoyed. Funny enough, it was a happy accident. I hadn't intended for this to happen, but when I saw what the colorscapes were doing as they gradually became darker and darker, I liked that, so I kept it. Oh, the chalk drawings. These were precious. Sadly, I found these in a trash bin. Someone was trying to recycle them. They didn't want to keep them. And I thought, oh, how perfect these would be to have this and a little tin of chalk laid out on the floor before the fire. It implies that there is a young child that lives here, and that is true. This character has 2 orphans in his care, a young Caleb and little Anna. Little Anna is a character that loves the chalk, and so it's easy to see a little girl kicking her ankles up in the air, laying on her belly, drawing this adorable little picture of what she says is home. She is a messy little girl, so Lord Ike is constantly cleaning up after her. She always forgets to put away her chalks in each of the scenes where she's in. A very rich shot. Again, we're encouraged to come back to the photo album. In this next long shot of the fireplace, we see the open photo album. The lower drawer beneath it is perched open, implying that some candles were removed. We see the tray of cookies. Some of them are missing. They were very tasty. And another healthy, long shot of that fireplace. It was very warm filming this fire. Very, very warm. The fire, thankfully, was the easiest part to film, but the most difficult part was getting the sounds right. What we hear and recognize as the sound of a fireplace lit is not the same as sometimes what we record. So as a sound editor, it was part of my job to go back and supplement the original recording with extra sounds. And that's why items like this basket with this really rich crackling sound was such a funny prop that provided a much needed addition to the sound of the fire. The photo album is an antique. The iron grate in the fireplace is an antique. The drawer that the photo album is resting above, I don't think that is an antique. It's maybe vintage, an old utensil drawer for maybe some silverware. I can see that. I'm unsure as to the age of the stockings. Those stockings were thrifted, and there is no name tag or stamp that I was able to find to identify who made them and possibly when. The blue pottery and the nut bowl. The blue pottery came from my kitchen. It's handmade. I love blue pottery. I have a lot of it. The stones, again, the stones around the fireplace. It's made out of cardboard, flooring foam, and stickers. Took about a day to get it really right, about a day to 3 days, to build that mantle, to get it to look like old stone. One of the easiest props in this whole set that I would love to improve upon, though, is the stockings. If you love this episode, love the feel of the Crimble holiday that I've created, you can help me level up the content by becoming a member today. Your dollars go towards purchasing things like the photo album, a piece that is an important prop in this first episode. Other videos that lean into the show and tell of the props will be posted to Frames of Fire. For such a simple set, it still reads as very rich. It's warm. There's the hint, the feeling of family. And it's easy to imagine the feel of the warm fire as it roars in the grate and warms the room, encouraging us to feel good, to relax, to curl up with a book, a cup of tea, and savor the quietude that comes with the hush of winter. Towards the end of the video, here are the promised close-up shots of the iron grate. We see the dousing of the candles. The angel chime is silenced, waiting and ready to be lit for another time. We see this character also put the mantle to sleep, blows out the candles, leaves the photo album open, and we hear footsteps receding into the distance. The video ends with a soft-spoken voice whispering the title, the story world name, and how you can support the story world today. That's me whispering in your ear again. Throughout this whole video, though, many of the sounds were recorded in a enclosed space. But oddly enough, at 46:44, did you hear it? What sounds like a little voice saying, "Here we go." That was not me. It's a funny sound addition that I caught during editing, and I decided to keep it. It's a small mystery as to how that voice got there. I live in a cement room. I am far away from my neighbors, and it's just me in this place. Is it a ghost? Who's to say? But it seemed appropriate for the Crimble holiday, for a time of the year where traditionally in the Victorian era, ghost stories were eagerly looked into and read out loud. Perhaps this is our spooky little addition to lean into the spooky portion of the holiday. 4644. What a strange little sound. And that is our talkback for Frames of Fire, Heart of the Home. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a comment, subscribe, and click on the notification bell to be alerted when the next video is released. Thanks to you, your support means the world. Thank you to those who believe in the magic, and I look forward to releasing more videos for your entertainment in the coming year. Merry Crimble, everyone, and may the new year hold you and yours with kind hands.